Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I'm a boomer. I think I'm a zoomer. I think I'm a doomer. Damn, I'm a zoomer. Okay. EGGWHITE coming with the heat.
I stay fooling with my bot, my tunes will make your speakers hot. Dance floor, hopscotch, baby, do the...
Welcome to the Grillcast, the only podcast in the world dedicated to radical centrism. I am your host, Orion, and joining me, as always, is Micah. What's up, buddy?
What is up, my gorillas?
What is up, my gorillas? We have a returning guest host this week. We have Mason back in the house, the third man. What's good, dude?
What's up? What's up? It's good to be back.
So we have a sponsored segment to start the show out with today. The Creatures Co-op is looking for new tenants. They are a based Landchat Antifa organization based in Portland, Oregon. Here's the ad read. Hello, we're Creatures Co-op, a queer collective located in Northeast Portland. We're a community of 10 creatures, 5 of them being human. We're looking for one new critter to join us and fill a cheap makeshift room. It's a little bigger than 8x8 and well built out of recycled doors. It's located just off the living room, near the front door. It has some furnishings and can be fully furnished with no trouble at all. Rent is $302 per month with a $300 refundable deposit. Sorry! And utilities range from $60 to $80 a month. We also collect monthly house funds, which are usually around $15 to $20 a month. Now, obviously, you hear this, and I'll post a picture of the room too. It looks beautiful. And these Landchads, they're people of culture, They're not going to allow just any rent hog to come and live in their dwelling. So they have some terms and conditions. You, ACAB, don't be ableist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, a misogynist, etc. Must love dogs. We have 3 and some are loud, but very lovable. We also have 2 cats, but they don't need you to love them necessarily. They could care less. No pets of your own, please.
For how beautiful the room is and how absolutely affordable it is at $300, those are barely qualifiers.
This is what we really need to see. Like, people talk about housing prices, right? And it's because there's not enough homes, on the market. And these people just added an entire room to this house. Like, that's
they literally,
another person house.
They repurposed garbage. They repurposed garbage so it doesn't get thrown in some landfill. And they've provided a dwelling for some lucky new tenant.
Yeah, they've recycled a living space. That doesn't look that bad.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Without Landchads, there literally wouldn't be housing.
And how can our listeners apply for this amazing living space?
But wait, there's more. You must be okay with noise. You're located off of the living room and by the front door, so you'll hear a lot of traffic. Your walls don't extend all the way to the ceiling, so you will hear a lot of stuff. You must be okay with sex workers. We have 3 in our house and frequently have loud sex noises. Okay with hosting. We host folks on our couch. Now, I don't know if the sex workers use the couch too. For some people, that might be an added benefit. You get to hear some whores smashing in the next room next to you, and, you don't even have to pay for that.
We gotta start searching pornos right now to find one that's got this, half room thing in the back of the living room, behind the couch. Maybe if you, listen close enough, you can hear the guy beating off.
So, do they distinguish what the other 5 things are that aren't human?
3 dogs and 2 cats.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 10 creatures here.
And are those actually people, or are they animals?
10 creatures, 5 humans, 5 animals. But dogs, cats, humans, we're all the same. We're all creatures in this co-op. So if you want to apply, just shoot us a message at thegrillcast@gmail.com and we'll send it their way. If they accept one of our tenants, we get 5% of every application fee. We get 5% of monthly rent plus 5% of tip.
And free services occasionally.
Yes, and occasional free services. How could you not want to move into this house? You have whores on demand there. You have 3 to choose from.
With all the money you're saving from the cheap rent, you could have a 3-way.
Yeah, you don't even have to ride your bicycle to the whorehouse anymore.
With how much money you're saving by using this room, you could save up enough to build another room within that same space and start renting that out. You
can sublet it and become a Landchad yourself.
Yeah, you could sublet it.
Yeah, you can build bunk beds in there and then rent the top bunk because no one wants the top bunk.
You could make a fort.
It probably still just as big as a college dorm. I'd like to say, like, even with 2 in that space, it's probably the size of a regular college dorm.
We'll as soon as we can make it available, we will put out the virtual tour of this space.
All right. Speaking of land shads, Joe Biden did a based thing, my Grillos.
Again?
Yeah.
Again. He's
Again.
knocking out of the park every fucking time. So he's whipping around in the new Ford F-150 electric truck, and I'll let the video speak for itself.
Mr. President,
This sucker's quick.
how's it drive? Mr. President, can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you drive away?
No, you
since it's so
can't.
important?
Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it. I'm on the seat. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Skirting out of the situation.
That's not an appropriate time to ask about Israel. He's just
Dude.
trying to have a nice fucking drive and grill.
Dude, Joe Biden, he's the fucking president, okay, bitch? He doesn't need to answer your retard journalist questions, right? You and people who watch this, you might think that what he did was disrespectful, but really it was the journalist who was being disrespectful, okay? Because Joe Biden was just vibing, and she was trying to kill his vibe.
Yeah, exactly. You know, she wanted to insert herself into the situation. Everyone's having a good time at the cookout, and she brings up politics.
It must be hard too because like Joe Biden's like, what, do you want me to sit here for an hour and explain the complexities of the situation to your pea brain? Like, what do you want me to do? Like Joe Biden literally can't like explain his stance to the populace because he's just like, what, you retards? Like, you don't understand. Fuck off.
He saw two options. Completely kill his vibe, sit there and bore everyone with Israel talk, or run a bitch over. And what do you think Chad Joe Biden chose? He said, get in front of the truck, bitch. You want to hear about Israel?
Get in front of the
It's
truck.
about to get real. I'll tell you that much.
He looks good in a truck, like with his shades. Like Biden's a truck guy, you know? I
Oh,
don't know.
absolutely.
I get that blue collar vibe from him.
Yeah.
But now he's got an electric truck.
He always looks great in any type of wheels.
Honestly, an electric truck is like, it's like the Centrist car of choice because it's like the big truck, right? Which is a right wing thing, but it's electric. It's the big double deuce. It's the shake up.
Which is, yeah, right. It's a left wing thing, even though making electric cars is terrible for the environment. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, these things aren't actually about the environment. It's about caring about the environment, not actually caring, like helping.
It's about making yourself feel good. And it looked like he felt really good in that thing.
Well,
He looked good in it. He looked so badass with his shades, too.
he said it's fast, and electric cars actually have like a faster acceleration time.
They do. That truck gets like 4 seconds, 0 to 60. I mean, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And so I hope we can all aspire to be like that, to just say, no, I'm gonna run you over, and then just drive away. Watch how fast I go. Meow. So he actually does expand upon his thoughts on the Israel-Palestine conflict. He did that earlier today.
My party still supports Israel. Let's get something straight here. Until the region says unequivocally they acknowledge the right of Israel to exist as an independent Jewish state, there will be no peace.
Based.
There will be no peace.
There will be no peace.
Just hold on. I have to get my leftist tears mug out.
His party is still the party of Israel. He's the commander-in-chief of the Democratic Party and indeed of our great country. And he says, listen here, Jack, my party is pro-Israel. And there will not be peace until Palestine surrenders. And not even just Palestine. He says until the entire region gets on board with Israel.
Yeah, like that's not going to happen until, I mean, Iran will never acknowledge that until Iran is not a state. Like there's certain states that will never acknowledge Israel as a state.
It's like no meme, like them, like countries over there not recognizing Israel's sovereignty, and like it's total malarkey.
It's true.
Now, hold on just a second. You know, I think a lot of people have been doing some great activism online, and I think that could potentially change the course of things. And, you know, I think that their opinions and whinging on the internet, it'll change things.
Like the Middle East, like every country surrounding Israel, like in the Middle East, there's just one collective soy jack, like just raging soy jack.
No. Give us back Jerusalem. No.
No, you can't be there.
I don't know. What I love about this clip is that he knows the time and place. It's not that he doesn't have a firm, strong opinion in support of his allies. It's that he just knows the time and place to talk about it. He wasn't doing presidenting things then. He wasn't doing adulting. He was doing he was doing drive truck fast, go vroom vroom.
I'm an old guy in a vehicle having fun.
And even there, he just tells it like he is. Like the whole just listen here, Jack. Like I'm just gonna say how it is. We support Israel. That's it. That's the end of it. No more arguing. Stop asking me these questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like anybody's going to talk about Israel-Palestine after like a week from now anyways. It's already dying, so...
Yeah, I'd give it 1 week until it's like completely gone.
We'll have something new to spurg out about online and have strong opinions on that we beat people up in the streets over.
What keeps the Grillcast running strong?
Someone got beat up today in New York. A Jewish man was beaten up by Palestinian protesters.
I think that was in LA.
I think it might have happened multiple times. And you can already see the tides changing, because on that, the whole thread was full of people talking about like, wait a second, we're being anti-Semitic. It's like, yeah, you retards, you can't just do this. And everyone's changing. Like, it's like a week ago on World News, everyone was fuck Israel, but it's all changed now.
Are you saying it's all fun and games until people start beating up the Jews?
Yeah. Yeah, like last week everyone was all fuck Israel, but now there's these headlines of like these Palestinians attacking Jews in the street, and now it's like, oh wait, we don't support that. Wait, this is anti-Semitic.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, you know?
They're suddenly realizing that a lot of the people who crept out of the woodworks to talk about how we should abolish Israel weren't actually Palestinians and were the actual alt-righters that they've been afraid of the whole time.
Wait, are you telling me that they said anti-Zionism isn't anti-Semitism in bad faith? Yeah, dude.
What?
No
Wait
way.
a second. I've been agreeing with Richard Spencer this whole time? Oh, no!
Yeah, it was a crazy time period. I was actually seeing stuff where people were talking about, like, Zionists, and it's like, that word would never have even showed up in, like, mainstream circles until now, but it's all gone.
Yeah.
It's done now.
That vernacular got Iron Domed.
Yeah.
They tried to get through to Israel with it, and it just got blown up in the air, and it's gone forever now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Thank you, Joe Biden, again, for
proving
why you're the prime Chad of America.
He ends the malarkey. The malarkey starts, and Biden stops it.
Speaking of ending malarkey, let's talk about the Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Now, it's incredibly centrist that a black woman is named Lightfoot. I want to just start off with that. And she is fighting off allegations of being a racist because she says that she will only grant interviews to black or brown reporters.
Based?
I agree that that's based, and a lot of rightoids are spurging about it and saying, no, you can't do that. That's racist,
dude. It's not. Is it really a racist like thing? I mean, I think we can all agree that like white people tend to have way too much to say. I mean, just like look at us.
Yeah, what color do you think that reporter was that was trying to kill Joe Biden's vibe? Do you think that was a white woman? I could hear it in her voice. It was droning on, just naggy. That was a white woman. And this is a gay black mayor. I can't blame her for being like, I don't want to deal with white women anymore. They're fucking annoying.
Pretty much already established in America that black entertainers are more interesting. And I consider journalists to basically be entertainers. They're like low quality entertainers. So like, I don't know why you wouldn't just want to solely associate with POC entertainers. It's just a better group.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people have problems with that. And she says, in response to many journalists online, because it's the journalist class that really has a problem with her, they're saying, what it comes down to, they won't outright say that she's anti-white, but they're just mad that they don't get to interview her because they're leeches.
Also, think of it this way, right? It's really just it's more of a preference than anything else. Like, is the right wing gonna come out next and say it's racist for non-whites to not want to date whites?
Is it homophobic for me not to want to suck a dick? That's basically what she's doing, is just saying, look, I have a preference, and it's my freedom of association.
Yeah.
It's just cancel culture going wild again.
Well, it's like, we talk about the need for like POC spaces, and she's decided to make her entire life a POC space to the best of her ability. And to that, I say slay, queen.
Slay queen indeed. She says, it's a shame that in 2021, the City Hall Press Corps is overwhelmingly white in a city where more than half of the city identifies as Black, Latino, AAPI, or Native American.
Yeah.
Now, they could easily bypass this by just identifying as non-white.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting bit of language. Is that getting common? Like, identifies as. That implies that we get to pick, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
Why? So you hate Rachel Dolezal?
No. I just, I think the person who's like setting their own boundaries for who they get to associate, they get to designate who they think is white or who is POC. It has to go both ways. Like, sure, you can identify whatever way you want, but another person might not, I'm not going to force another person to validate that for you.
She also goes on to say that she no longer wants to share water fountains with those disgusting Mayo freaks.
Really?
What?
Yeah, the verbatim.
Base.
Shut the fuck
That is a
up. No,
quote.
she didn't. No, she didn't. Shut up.
She did.
No, she did.
Would those eyes that are on separate sides of her face lie?
Hey, dude, have you ever been around, like, when white women go up and they like fill up their whole like athletic water bottle in the fucking sink, and it's like, it's not in the fucking the water faucet.
I'd rather them do that than put their herpes lips on it.
That's true, but you're like nowhere near any kind of athletic thing, and they're carrying around their weird white woman athletic bottle, and then they got to fill it up in the drinking fountain, which takes like 10 minutes, and they won't let you just come up and take a sip of water halfway through. Like, they got to fill the whole bottle. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, and you can tell that they never work out.
Yeah.
They wear clothes like they work out, but, I mean, bodies don't lie. She probably saw that happening and said, I don't want to share water fountains with them. True quote. I don't want to get interviewed by them. She's in Chicago. I mean, she can live a life entirely separate. She wants them to ride in the back of the bus. So Tulsi Gabbard, she took umbrage with this particularly. She says on Twitter, Mayor Lightfoot's blatant anti-white racism is abhorrent. I call upon President Biden, Kamala Harris, and other leaders of our country, of all races, to join me in calling for Mayor Lightfoot's resignation. Our leaders must condemn all racism, including anti-white.
Oh my god.
I know.
What people don't understand is that white is the absence of race. White people have no race or culture. So you can't be racist towards white.
This really pisses me off because, okay, what Tulsi Gabbard is doing right now is she's, by counter-signaling the mayor of Chicago, she's basically giving ammo to alt-righters who think that Tulsi's a minority, but she's clearly white-passing, and is doing this to save face. I mean, whatever applies to white people applies to white-passing people as well. We all know this to be true.
Absolutely. And, she's just being a white Karen, calling upon the president, calling upon Kamala Harris, all of her
Complaining to the manager.
Complaining to the manager, trying to cancel a brave POC queen. It's disgusting. Cancel culture is going too fucking far.
Unbelievable.
Now, I mean, we can all see that Tulsi Gabbard has white fragility and internalized racism problems. She talks, with noted white supremacists like Joe Rogan. She's just a darling of the alt-right, and it's because of dog whistling like this. Now she has.
Is it really a dog whistle though? Like, I don't know.
No, it's a dog megaphone. That's what it is.
Exactly. Let's
Now,
not downplay the severity of her
We all
crimes.
see what she's doing.
And we can all see it. We have eyes, we have ears, and we're here. You want to cancel this black queen? How about we cancel you, Tulsi Gabbard? Because this isn't her first brush with racism, okay? I have a video that she posted on April 25th espousing her alt-right views.
My dear friends, my fellow Americans, please let us stop the racialization of everyone and everything. It's racialism. We're all children of God and are therefore family in the truest sense, no matter our race or ethnicity. This is aloha.
Aloha's a white
And
supremacist
this is what
dog
our country
whistle.
and the world need. The mainstream propaganda media and politicians, they want us to constantly focus on our skin color and the skin color of others because it helps them politically or financially. Aloha means respect and love for others. It's what enables us
Aloha
to see
means
beyond our
concentration
skin color
camps.
and see the soul, the person within. So let's do our best to cultivate this aloha in our hearts and see and treat others through this prism of love, not through the prism of race and ethnicity.
She's just saying the same thing over
I know.
and over
I literally
again.
thought she was done because it was so repetitive.
She's saying the same thing over and over. Which is fine. Like, she's kind of hot, so it's nice to look at her talk and whatnot. But like, she is just saying the same thing over and over.
Okay, aloha is like the synopsis of what white people do to a culture. Like, white people took the proud Hawaiian culture and then just turned it into this like marketing ploy. They took their land, took their people, turned it into like this horrible like vacation spot, and then took their cultural artifacts like the word aloha and made them into this like trivialized white person token symbol.
Tourist gimmicks.
That's what she's doing. She's culturally appropriating the Hawaiians.
Yeah. She's like, oh, we just need
As a
to
white
not
woman.
have any more
Of color.
culture. Like, we just need to get rid of race and not care about it. That's like, I don't know. It's just this white black hole where all cultures go in and nothing comes out except a homogenous mess of white supremacy.
You hate to see it.
She might actually like artificially tan her skin. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
honestly.
all of her features scream white at me except for her like skin color itself, and that is very easy to change.
Yeah, I think she's faking. She could be faking.
Her skin
100%.
tone is the same tones as Donald Trump. Like
Yeah.
that orange. She's definitely, her and Donald Trump, when they're at their clan meetings, afterwards, they go get brunch, because that's what white supremacists do. They love brunch, these Karens. And then they go to the same tan place and plot their evil Nazi takeovers. They're plotting January 6th, too.
That's right.
What was January 6th?
Remember it was the thing with the Capitol.
Sorry, I totally forgot about that after YouTube deleted our show covering it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's really tragic how YouTube
Fucking
just tries to
pedophiles.
erase, like all the coverage of Jan 6. They try to shut down
Really?
journalists like us that try and expose, the heinous crimes of the Trump supporters committed that day.
Us proud journalists erasing us like Tulsi Gabbard is trying to erase Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's culture.
Sweeping us away. YouTube.
It's just disgusting to see. And I hope that Lori Lightfoot, I hope that she finds peace and tranquility and never having to deal with the Karen ever again face to face.
Yeah.
And hopefully she can have her interns block their Twitters and she can just live in a world of her own choosing.
Yeah. As far as her whole initiative and living in a world of her own, I hope it goes really, 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 really well for her.
No black person should have white people forced on them. The
No.
presence of white people. No POC. Not one.
All right. Speaking of Karens that upset us all, let's talk about the new Wingcock hotspot alert. Alert! Wingcock hotspot alert! Matt Gaetz. We went over Matt Gaetz. He was the guy that went on Tucker and ran a masterful psyops campaign.
Yeah, he slept with the 17-year-old woman.
Allegedly? Allegedly. Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
It was
But
like,
definitely.
Tucker, you banged a girl too who was definitely not 18.
Him and Marjorie Taylor Greene are going on an American First tour. Gaetz and Greene, to be fair, like when I first heard of this, I was like, Gaetz and Greene, is that a hippie jam
GGs?
band or something?
GG's?
Yeah,
The
it sounds
GGs?
like a hippie jam band, but no, unfortunately, it is a Wingcuckery jam band. And you might be asking yourself, well, I believe in free speech. Why should we shut this down? Why should we be against this? And I have a video from our friends at Occupy Democrats who are going to expose why we should be afraid and fearful.
Two of the most controversial Republican members of Congress are going to be holding a big rally in the East Valley later today.
That's a
This
spooky
rally
filter.
with Matt Gaetz and
Yeah, I'm
Marjorie
scared.
Taylor Greene. What they call their America First tour.
An America
Yeah, look
First
at those
tour.
fucking
Florida
arms.
lawmaker touring with conservative Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
This is not conservative.
She chased
Yes,
a
it is.
teenage Parkland school shooting survivor down the street, screaming at him about guns.
This is not conservative.
Yes, it is.
Matt Gaetz. He's facing an FBI investigation over allegations of a relationship with an underage girl.
A sex trafficking investigation.
This
Depends.
not
Yes,
conservative.
it is.
She suggested the Parkland and Sandy Hook school shootings were false flag operations and that the attacks on 9/11 were staged.
Yes,
This
it
is
is.
conservative.
Embattled Congressman Matt Gaetz is being accused today of
worst
snorting
crime.
cocaine with this beauty. They had an ongoing
Based.
financial
Okay, wait, that's
relationship
awesome.
in exchange for sex.
This is crazy.
Her contention is that the Jews are amazing with the space lasers to start the fires.
Deranged.
Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted down Ocasio-Cortez.
You need to get rid of your diaper.
Cult behavior.
Who is your president?
Lead an Islamic invasion into our government offices.
Q is a patriot.
Exchanging money for non-favor.
Stand up. Speak out. Save America.
I'm afraid. Fear! Fear! Be afraid! Fear! They're coming in your town and they're gonna radicalize your children and they're gonna do cocaine with your daughter!
while having a financial relationship and sex.
So he paid for her dinner. Can you be in a relationship with a woman and have it not be a financial relationship?
Oh, I was thinking like they were like trading stocks together, like, you know, like strategizing. I thought they were like doing blow together and banging like mid buying Dogecoin and like giving each other tips on when they're gonna dump. Damn.
Yeah, they were just talking about their portfolios.
I gotta say, okay, the Jewish space lasers thing,
probably real.
So actually real, okay? Like not them starting forest fires, absolutely not. And like the concept of like Israel space lasers specifically, maybe not. But space lasers in general, it sounds silly, but they're actually like one of the like main things that modern militaries are focusing on is satellites with lasers that can shoot down rockets. And also probably light shit on fire pretty easily. Not that there's Israeli space lasers starting forest fires. That's all ridiculous. But space lasers in general, very valid concept that is absolutely happening.
Yeah.
Well, you know, she's obviously nuts. She talked about how 9/11, you know, there's something weird going on there. And we've had the official narrative for 20 years.
We literally knew what happened on 9/11 like an hour after it happened. It's been clear since the very beginning.
Yeah. Two planes hit the Twin Towers.
Like they found the passport of the terrorists in the wreckage. I mean, it's
it doesn't
right
get
there.
any more clear than that.
It doesn't get any clearer.
And for her to go around and do that and to chase after David Hogg and tell him that his positions on gun control are less than kosher.
A Parkland shooting survivor.
He's a Parkland shooting survivor, okay? You can't just have opinions and tell them to a Parkland shooting survivor. It disgusts me. Everything about this disgusts me. But I am excited for this tour because, you know, we're all wondering what are going to be the hot spots this summer. Where are we going to see the wing cuck on wing cuck violence break out?
Yeah.
And wherever these guys go, wherever this crazy duo goes, who are definitely doing cocaine and fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
This is gonna be the Ben Shapiro campus tour on steroids.
Yeah, this could be like Milo all over again. If we get enough content like this, we could have the fights in the street.
Well, you already have Occupy Democrats being like, be afraid, fascists are coming to your town. They're gonna take your children and do cocaine with them and then have sex with them.
I mean, that doesn't actually sound like a bad thing. Like,
I mean, they're gonna take your 17-year-old women.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's going to be a lot of people. People are getting ready for it. They're gearing up. And I, for one, am excited to see the wing cuck on wing cuck violence that breaks out because of this.
Their flags with batons attached. I remember when they used to have like shield walls and shit. Like really, I don't know. The wing cuck fighting has degenerated a lot. It would be nice to see this bring it back to the good old days, you know?
Well, lately it's just been Black Lives Matter people just occupying roads and then getting hit by cars.
I can't tell if like we're not having enough civil unrest or if I just forget about the civil unrest so quickly that it feels like we're not having a lot of civil unrest.
It happens in the summer. The heat comes on. People revert to their primal brains. It cooks them up a little bit. They get heated, literally.
But we were at a big loss this election in terms of in the street hand-to-hand combat. It was not there this cycle like it was in 2016, largely due to Charlottesville. The problem was escalating escalating
And
violence.
COVID.
And I was really excited about escalating violence in general in these things. Like people started shooting each other, like Rittenhouse, like Charlottesville. But as the violence escalated, they stopped having the fights altogether, which was exactly the opposite of what I wanted.
A big part of it was COVID.
That's true.
COVID once again ruined another aspect of American life.
Yeah, COVID's been keeping people off the streets and away from these wing cuck events.
Yeah, COVID doesn't really have an effect on protests. Yeah, I think
well,
it's
those
actually...
are peaceful protests. Those are different.
I think it's actually just that our police were working overtime to keep rightoids and leftoids away from each other. They used to just let them fight.
Well, that's the beautiful thing is that the police in these cities have now been defunded since last year. This year it's going to be open season.
That's
true. That's true.
So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get some official Grillcast correspondence out there this year.
Do a live stream? Fuck.
Yeah, I do live pretty close to DC. Like I can definitely get out there on the street and find out what's going on if need be.
Yeah, I have an idea where I want to go and I want to bring a grill and I want to grill a bunch of burgers and try and get the left and the right to talk it out, but then also provoke them subtly.
Yeah.
So,
just kind of loaded questions.
How do you like your hamburger? And what do you think about the state of Israel?
Here, have some hard liquor.
Drink up.
Drink up, boys. That'll unite us.
Can I get you any condiments? How did you two vote in the last election, by the way?
Yeah, that sounds pretty based.
Because that's the thing. That's one of the key differences between centrism and radical centrism. The centrists will try and unite the two sides. The radical centrists will pretend to do so, but use that as a guise to really, stick a couple wedges in there and
the radical
rile them
centrists
up.
will try to get them to destroy each other, so only we are left.
Yes.
And we'll profit off of the sick, dank videos of rightoids and leftoids beating the shit out of each other with sticks. Like, that's I don't know. I just like watching it. I just like watching them beat each other up.
It is endlessly entertaining.
As a centrist out there, too, nobody will attack me because everyone loves centrists. It's a fail-proof plan.
Yeah, I don't know. When you get in the heat of a political blood orgy of that type, like the full-on feudal hand-to-hand combat in the streets, centrists get easily confused for... Everyone sees the centrist as their opposing side, Nobody sees the centrist and thinks it's their side.
You can't be in the middle of some, civil, protest or fucking unrest and, people look at you and, your defense can't be, I don't have an opinion. They're going to fucking attack you. They're going to assume the worst.
It's actually a dangerous place for a centrist, but you can ride the line if you do it properly. But it's a dangerous ground. I mean, don't get that wrong. Both sides will attack you. They don't have reasoning capacity.
That's why we have to be stronger than the wing cutters,
animals. When they get into that situation, they're like animals. They're just mind says attack. It's like a pit bull. It's hardwired into them.
That's true because, they have the us versus them mentality.
Yeah.
And their mentality is, if you aren't us, then you are them.
Yeah, nuance is like an 80 IQ or higher ability, and nobody that's going to these things falls into that threshold. You know what I mean?
Now, I fundamentally disagree with that take because I see the midwit, the average IQ person as being the real problem here. Somebody of extremely low IQ, I think that generally they just go, oh, I don't know about this. I don't care. I have beer to drink. I have women to yell at in my trailer.
Meat to cook.
I mean to cook. And then you have the high IQ big brains. That's going to be me out there because, I'm extremely humble, but also
we have a podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast. Anybody who has a podcast is automatically high IQ.
Yeah.
But then you have the midwits. The midwits, and I'm going to expand upon this more later, but the midwit is somebody who takes in a little bit of information, sees what the other people around them say, and immediately adopts that because they suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is essentially somebody who thinks that the little information they have is a complete picture. They have the ability to absorb knowledge, but not the ability to contextualize.
Or contest it. So it's like the centrist can grasp a concept, a political concept, and make a statement, and it will usually be followed with a but, right, or a something to counter whatever narrative they just put forward, and add that little bit of nuance.
Some form of acquiescence to say, maybe I don't have all the answers here, but from what I can see, I've scanned all the information and knowledge I've seen. I've run it through my mental processor, my big brain, and I've come out with this. But, I'm open to interpretations, and I'm open to hear where I might be wrong, whereas the midwit does not contain this. They do not have that in them.
Yeah. For every centrist, when considering an idea, we run that idea through a simulation, and the simulation is run about 1 million times to find every single possible thing that could go right or wrong with any given like policy proposal or opinion or philosophy.
With millions of points of data.
Literally millions of points of data, but the midwit will just make a statement and believe it fully without question.
They believe their own bullshit. Yeah. They're just smart enough to think that they know things.
Exactly, and that's why the high IQ and low IQs need to band together to fight the midwit. The midwit is the true plague, the true plague of wing cuckery, the true carrier of the plague.
We can have a perfect society with just, the low IQ and the high IQ. Like, we don't even need the midwits. Like, the low IQ provide most of the, actual labor, and then the only productive bureaucrats are high IQ. Like, what do the midwits actually provide to society?
They provide hot takes with their verified Twitter accounts. That's what the midwit provides.
They provide incessant complaining.
Yeah, I'm not even sure midwits are happy to be alive themselves.
And we're sure not happy to have them alive. It seems like something that we should be, able to consolidate, something that we should be able to agree on. But the midwit, they know that they're not happy to be alive, but they keep living because they're a virus. They're they're like zombies. They just live to make more of themselves.
Go to office job, do shitty work, go home to mediocre wife, have kids that are also midwits.
Pretend social injustice has actual effect on me.
Post on Snapchat, post Twitter.
The midwits must be, the chain must be broken. And I think we can all agree that there's only one way to do that.
By subscribing to the Grillcast?
Yes, by subscribing to the Grillcast. If you've made it this far into the episode, like and subscribe. My friends, we've covered a lot today. Do we have any final thoughts that we'd like to get out before we get the fuck out of here?
I'd just like to note that the Grillcast is scientifically proven to either raise or lower your IQ by no less than 10 points. One direction or the other.
I think only raise.
I think only lower.
We have to put this through a simulation with millions of points of data, and we'll come out with the true answer. Well, thanks for listening, and peace out, my grillers!
I'm old as a boomer, my mindset on Zoomer. Everything cooler, long as I'm not Laura Loomer. If you think I'm not number one, I just spell that rumor. Hit the victory royale on some motherfucking coochie. Default dance on a bitch. Hit the default dance on a bitch. Floss dance while I'm flossing in the whip. Victory royale when that chopper hit. Self-incrimination, I have no participation. News keep asking, I don't say shit. You can't have my conversation.
All right.